I'm going to be bringing back one of, if not the worst NHL franchise in the history of the league. That is the Atlanta Thrashers. That is right. This team obviously was not a great team over the course of their run in the league, and then they got moved to Winnipeg. We got the Jets back because of them. Not going to lie, that was a very slick move. But here in today's video, I'm going to be bringing them back into the NHL in 2024 through the expansion draft, and hopefully I'll be able to draft a very good team to build a future Stanley Cup contender here in Atlanta. Or will I absolutely fail just like this franchise did in the early 2000s? I don't have those answers, but we are going to be finding out. So let's go ahead and go straight to the expansion draft and see who we will be selecting as the very first members of the new and improved Atlanta Thrashers. So before we do head into the expansion draft, the Anaheim Ducks will win the draft lottery. Atlanta, meaning us, will select 4th overall. We fell one spot below where we actually were at 3rd. I guess from the Anaheim Ducks, I will take John Gibson. He's really the only person available that sparks my interest. I could take a D who's a 79 overall. Actually, I mean, that's a big contract for Gibson. Instead, I'll go with Vankinen. He's a young guy, 24 years old, 79 overall. Welcome to the team. Moving on to the Arizona Coyotes. I think from Arizona, we will select John Marino, 84 overall, 26 years of age. He signed for a long time at 5 years. Now, for the Boston Bruins, we cannot select Jeremy Swayman, no longer available. Korpisalo and DiPietro are the only goalies available, so I'm not taking them. I don't think I want to go with Zadorov either. We could take Lettieri, who's a 79 overall, top 9 forward. He is 28 years old, though, with him. Of the expansion draft, Mark Kastelic, 78 overall, 24 years of age, and he signed for 3 years. From the Buffalo Sabres, pretty easy choice here, as I'm going to take Matthias Samuelsson, 82 overall, only 23, and he signed for 8 years at 4.2. If we play him in a pretty big role, he should be able to grow very highly. From Calgary, I'm going to build off the very young and good promising decor. I have Kevin Ball, 80 overall at only 22 years of age, and he's got a very, very low contract hit. From the Carolina Hurricanes, I will take Tyson Joe, 78 overall, 25 years of age. We're building a very young team and probably just going to tank in year number 1. From the Blackhawks, I think I'm going to settle with Ryan Donato. He's 80 overall, 27 years of age himself, so that's a pretty good pickup. From the Colorado Avalanche, Jonathan Drouin, not even making $1 million, and he signed for 2 years. That could be a pickup. He's a little bit on the older side, but still, I mean, Brandstrom could be a defenseman we pick up. Top 4 low potential. Actually, that's kind of juicy. Anunin, I think we go with the heavy D favorite here, and Eric Brandstrom. He's only 23 and already an 81 overall, so he can help out our decor. We already have 5 defensemen selected, so we need to start taking some forwards here. This is going to be a very easy pickup. Thomas Harley, 86 overall, elite medium potential. He's only 21 years of age, so that, I mean, this was a no-brainer pick from Dallas. Signed for 2 years at a very low cap hit. That was probably our best pick so far. Now, although Andrew Koch does have a very, very bad contract at $5.6 million, signed for 5 years, I'm still going to take him. I'll probably just dump him off in the offseason, to be honest. This is not real life, so I should be able to easily make trades with contracts that I want to get rid of. From the Oilers, I think this is a very easy choice. Matthias Ekholm can be used as trade bait during the trade deadline as we try to tank in year number 1. He's an 89 overall, so he should have at least some trade value to him. So in this roster, Spencer Knight only has fringe starter medium potential at 79 overall, but I'm still going to take him. He signed for 4 years at $4.5 million, so he can be the first goaltender selected. From the LA Kings, I'm going to take Arthur Kaliev, 80 overall at only 21 years of age, so he should be able to grow to mid-80s and be a pretty decent top 6 forward. From Minnesota, I guess I'll take Jacob Loco. He's 23 years old, already a 79 overall, so we are building young. We're not going to be good in year number 1. I've already accepted my fate. From the Montreal Canadiens, they don't really have anybody that's too enticing, to be honest. I guess I'll take Michael Pezzetta, 79 overall at 25 years of age. Now, Nashville, I mean, we could take Brady Shea. He literally just signed there this offseason in real life, but 84 overall, already 30 years of age. We could use him as trade bait, or we could go with Cody Glass, who's 79 overall, makes less money. He's very young as well. All right, so I think I am going to take Brady Shea and then trade him for some better pieces at the trade deadline, or maybe even in the offseason. I won't even wait until the regular season season starts. I could have gone with Cody Glass, but I feel like I can get somebody better than Cody Glass with the trade value that Shea does have. I think I'm going to go with Curtis Lazar from the New Jersey Devils, 80 overall, $1 million deal. I think he's only signed for 1 to 2 years as well. Now, from the New York Islanders, we could steal their captain in Andres Lee. Actually, I'm going to take Alexander Romanov as long as they don't have a goalie available. No, they do not. Romanov is an 83 overall at 23 years of age, so he's still very, very young and should be a very promising defenseman. From the Rangers, I am going to take the very young Capo Caco, only 22. He probably has more potential to him. Maybe I can make him grow to like an 86, 87 overall at one point in his career as we now move on to the Ottawa Senators. From Ottawa, I want to go with Mads Sogard, 77 overall, still very young, and then we can find out who's going to be better between him and Spencer Knight. We still need a few more forwards to round out our forward core. Joel Fabry could be a guy as well, also very young, 23 years old. I think I'm going to select him. He's already an 84 overall. Drysdale, actually, since Drysdale is 3 years younger, actually 2 years, my math is not mathing. 2 years younger, Drysdale, 82 overall. He's signed for 4 years at a very low cap hit. From Pittsburgh, I will take Rickard Rakell. He is 30 years old, 84 overall, but we can also trade him if we need to. Moving on to San Jose. Do they have anybody that's too great? We need to select a forward. Maybe Oscar Lindbaum, 80 overall, 26 years of age. Very low cap hit for him as well. Welcome to the team. Moving on to the Seattle Kraken. I think I'm going to take Andre Burakovsky from Seattle, 82 overall. He is almost 30, but still, we should be able to move him if we want to, or keep him for the long run. Who knows? From St. Louis, I will take Alexander Texier. He's only 23 and already an 80 overall. From Tampa Bay, we'll go young with Mitchell Shafee, 78 overall at 25 years old. Now we move on to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Chris Tanev is available, literally the guy they just picked up. We need a forward, so we cannot take... Oh my god, they don't have any forwards available, really? I think we will have to steal Joseph Wall from the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's 24 years old, already an 82 overall, so he's up there. I am going to take Connor Garland from the Vancouver Canucks. He's an 84 overall, bit on the older side, but I mean, we do need some forwards to add to our roster. Now, from the Vegas Golden Knights, Braden McNabb. He's 32 years old. I don't think I'm going to take him. And now Shea Theodore is available. There is no way that I'm passing on Shea Theodore in the expansion draft. 85 overall, 27 years old, signed for 3 seasons. How did Vegas leave him unprotected is the question. From the Capitals, I will take Tom Wilson, a nice gritty guy, 84 overall, near 30 years old. Only signed for 2 seasons, which isn't bad. And now for the Winnipeg Jets, the last pick in the expansion draft. We are going to go with Mason Appleton from the Winnipeg Jets, just making sure they didn't have anybody that was good in goal. 82 overall. He's a centerman. And there we go. The entire expansion draft has been selected. We selected 11 defensemen. Let's finish it. Welcome all the new members of the Atlanta Thrashers here in 2024. Here's everybody that I selected. Rate it 1 to 10. Now, the draft is between 2 guys who are very similar. Both have the same style as PK Subban and our offensive defenseman, but I am going to have to go with the bigger guy in Sean McMillan, 6'2", 191. He's an offensive D-man. Welcome to the Atlanta Thrashers. Medium elite potential at 78 overall. We got a #1 D-man of the future here in Atlanta. Now, I am going after the 28th pick because I want to get a goalie who I believe has medium elite potential. Colorado does have that pick, so I'm going to give them a very young D-man and Eric Brandstrom for the 28th overall pick in this draft, and the trade has been accepted by the Colorado Avalanche. There he is, Hugo Haveled, medium elite potential, hybrid goalie. What is his potential? Please tell me. It is starter medium, so it was not medium elite, but that's okay. I think he can still grow. 69 overall, so he's not going to be ready until probably year 3, maybe year 4. We got our #1 prospect lined up. Sean McMillan, welcome. All right, so here we go. The offseason of moving all of our defensemen. Matthias Ekholm to the Anaheim Ducks for a young Cutter Gauthier, signed 3 years, medium elite potential, and they are totally unwilling. I will throw in a second and a third to make this trade go through, and luckily it was accepted by the Anaheim Ducks. So I moved on. I want to get Hendrix Lapierre. He signed for 2 years. TJ Oshie is in the deal just to make the money work. For Brady Shea, a 4th and a 5th round pick, and the trade has been rejected, so I'm probably going to sweeten it just a little bit, throw in a 6th and a third to make sure this trade will go through. And it has been accepted by the Capitals organization, who literally just bought Cap Friendly, so screw them for that. All right, moving on. We're going after Igor Sherenashov, who is a very good prospect, signed for 4 years, as well as Gushin, another prospect, 2 wingers that we can upgrade to our forward core for Marino, 3rd, 4th, and a 2nd-round pick. Totally unwilling as well, so we're going to have to move off of him. Instead, I'll take Barclay Goodrow, and the trade has been accepted on behalf of the San Jose Sharks. All right, so as we head into season number 1, this is what our forward core looks like. I got Gauthier alongside Lapierre and Kakko on that first line, and then we have Kaliev, Koch, and Tom Wilson. 3rd line and 4th lines, I mean, we have good depth. We don't really have that next-level superstar. Defensively, we are pretty loaded. McMillan and Harley on the first D pair. And then we have Samuelson, Theodore. And then finally, Drysdale and Romanoff. And in goal, we have Joseph Wall and Spencer Knight. Whoever performs better and whoever grows to a higher overall will be our starter of the future. So here we are at the trade deadline, and we are the 2nd worst team in the entire league, only ahead of the New York Islanders. So we're trying to steal their 1st-round pick for this season. I got Shea Theodore, a 2029 first, which is like 5 years in the future, as well as a 2nd-round pick. I threw Brock Nelson in there. He's only the guy with a big contract that can make this work money-wise. Instead, I will go after Arizona's 1st-rounder for this season, and it luckily went through, so we should have at least 2 top 10 picks in this upcoming NHL entry draft. So at the end of our first season back in the NHL, we would end up being the worst team in the league. Only 30 wins, 46 losses, 6 in overtime for 66 points. The New York Islanders are tied with us, but I guess they beat us head-to-head. Arizona was bad, and Philly. Wow, okay, Philly was down. The Arizona was bottom 3. So not only do we have our 1st-round pick for this season, but we also have the Arizona Coyotes, who are absolutely terrible. At the top of the league, we have the Edmonton Oilers winning 60 games. Boston was good. Toronto, Colorado, and the Rangers. Cutter Gauthier will lead our team in scoring with 51 points. Only 17 goals as a power forward. I thought he would score a little bit more. Lapierre had 50, also 24 goals. Thomas Harley had a 50-point season as a D-man. Don't mind all the minuses. We were a very bad team. Everybody would be a minus. Raquel was okay. Kaliev had a good season. Tom Wilson and Koch. And if we take a look at the goalie, Joseph Wall was bad, but I mean, the team in front of him was very bad as well. Speak of the devil, McDavid leading the entire NHL in scoring with 119 points. And for goals, it would go to Zachary Hyman having 57 on the season. And the Toronto Maple Leafs will break the curse, beating the Oilers in 5 games in the finals for the first time since 1967 to take home the Stanley Cup. Connor McDavid will take home the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Zach Hyman, the Maurice Richard. Josh Morrissey went ahead and won the Norris. I mean, he is a 93 overall. Morgan Riley somehow won the Conn Smythe Trophy. Swayman won the Vezina, and the Selke will go to Sid the Kid Crosby for the first time in his NHL career. And somehow the St. Louis Blues but they got up from 7th place to all the way to 1st overall in the NHL draft lottery. We will select 3rd and 4th. Are you kidding me? That is insanely frustrating, dude. So here we are in the NHL draft. I think Sam Dickinson would be the perfect guy to go alongside our other franchise D-man on that first line pair. He's a 2-way defender, so he's not also an offensive D-man. He's also NHL ready. So Sam Dickinson, welcome to the Atlanta Thrashers. Now we also have the very next pick, the 4th in the draft. I think I am going to go with TJ Ginla. He's a centerman. I know he can grow to a pretty high overall, 17 years of age. Welcome to Atlanta, brother. 76 overall, medium elite potential. So we did lock up Thomas Harley to an 8x8 contract, a very long term. Arthur Kaliev at like 2.4 for 8 years. Sogard is back as well. And we signed Sam Dickinson, who was our defenseman that we drafted. So we got everybody we needed to sign as we now head into free agency. We went out in the offseason. We got a brand new head coach, Cam Marshall, who does have A's across the board and a pretty good scheme fit. So he should be useful towards the future of the Atlanta Thrashers. Now, heading into the second season, our forward core is pretty much the same. I mean, nobody really stands out that's any new. Cutter Gauthier is up to an 87 overall. Lapierre's an 84, and Kaliev 83 defensively. We got Dickinson with our other young guy and Sean McMillan, both 18 and 19 years of age, our D-men of the future. Thomas Harley grew to a 91 overall. He's only 23, so we're loaded there. And in goal, Joseph Wall, only an 82 overall, and Spencer Knight is a 79, so we might need to go out and get a goaltender of the future. if both of these guys do not grow in the sim. Now, predictably, yet again, we are not going to be a very good team as we were bottom of the NHL, a little bit better than last season, 35, 41, and 6, 76 points. Not nearly the worst team in the league. That would be St. Louis. We'll only end up winning 27 games, so we might not have like a top 5 pick unless we move up. Now, St. Louis moved up last season, so EA, I want you to return the favor here, buddy. Somehow, Burakovsky will lead our team in scoring with 58 points. Cutter Gauthier had 57. Thomas Harley had a very good year as well. Lapierre had 50. Cock had 48. And if we take a look at our goalies, Joseph Wall was not very good, but Spencer Knight in the 27 games he played was honestly pretty decent with a .912 save percentage. Nathan MacKinnon would lead the entire league in scoring with 117 points, followed by Hyman's 114. Bouchard had a monster season. Holy hell. McDavid and Draisaitl, the Oilers are going to be tough to beat in this sim. And on the goal side, it is a tie between Pasternak and Austin Matthews. Zach Hyman had 52. Both of them had 56, by the way. I forgot to mention that. Nathan MacKinnon had 50 and Connor Bedard 48. And shout out to Les Montreal Canadiens for taking home the Stanley Cup, beating Minnesota in 6 games in the finals. Nathan MacKinnon will end up taking home the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Matthews and Pasternak, the Maurice Richard. The Norris will go to Evan Bouchard. Matthew Savoie took home the Calder. Cole Caulfield ended up winning the Conn Smythe, Skinner the Vezina, and the Selke again to Crosby. Unfortunately, we did not move up to the first overall pick. If anything, we moved down. We stayed at 9. So, actually, no, we did not stay at 9. We moved down 1 from 7 to 8. EA Sports is absolutely screwing me. Now, I did forget to go ahead and actually select somebody from the NHL draft, but luckily the computers gave me exactly what I needed. A center playmaker, 8th overall, Cole Retchney. Probably butchered that name, but he's pretty good. He's a 77 overall with medium elite potential. So we did end up offering an extension to Alexander Romanov. We got Capo Caco back. Hendrix Lapierre is back long-term, as well as Tej Aginla. We finally signed him to his entry-level deal. And there we go. We went out in free agency, maxed out Mitch Marner to a 1-year, $18 million deal. He was extremely happy to accept the offer. And then next season, when he needs to be re-signed, we can literally lowball him and get him back to a much cheaper contract. So welcome Marner to the Atlanta Thrashers. All right, I think we've had the most improvement we've had so far this video, picking up Mitch Marner. He will be on that first line with Lapierre and Cutter Gauthier. Our top 6, honestly, is pretty lethal. We also have Tom Wilson alongside Texier and Kaliev. Our third line's good, and our fourth line as well. Defensively, Dickinson and Harley, a 91 and 85. Then we have Romanoff alongside McMillan. And then finally, Kevin Ball and Jamie Drysdale in goal. We have an 82 overall Joseph Wall and a 79 Spencer Knight. We ended up locking up Jamie Drysdale to a contract extension, 8 years for $5.2 million. I think that's a steal in my opinion. Another year of losing and sucking as we are going to finish as the third worst team in the entire hockey league, 34, 43, and 5. 73 points on the season. Only St. Louis and Calgary were worse than us. I was going to say better, but they were the worst team in the entire league, were the Poverty Flames. Moving along, Cutter Gauthier will have his best season so far, 29 goals, 86 points. Marner didn't have a really good season, to be honest, only 74 points, but he should be very good. We actually got to re-sign him as well. Lapierre had 69, 30-goal season. Kaliev was good. Thomas Harley was okay. Not really the greatest. And Joseph Wall was absolutely trash. So I think we move off of him and maybe make Spencer Knight the starter. Although Spencer is not growing whatsoever. He's still a 79 overall. Zach Hyman will end up having the most points in the league at 130. 33 years old. He's only an 89 overall. And he's simulating like that. That's crazy. Draisaitl 125. Bouchard at 115. McDavid only had 110. So he's not even simulating that well. Although he is a 99 overall. On the goal side, Matthews will have 65. McKinnon 60. Hyman 56. As well as Leon Draisaitl with 55. Also, Eriksson Ek, 50-goal season, but when I had him on my team at an 87 overall, this guy was trash. And the Vegas Golden Knights would end up beating the Rangers in 5 games in the Stanley Cup Finals to win their second cup of their franchise's history. Zach Hyman might be the greatest player of all time. Matthews will win the Maurice Richard, the Norris to Evan Bouchard. The Calder will go to Hart. JT Comfort, the Conn Smythe, Skinner, back-to-back Vezinas, and the Selke to Nick Suzuki. So we actually moved down yet again as we will be selecting 5th overall, as St. Louis moves up again and selects 1st overall, their second 1st overall pick in this video. What is going on? Why do they have the most insane luck of all time? Now in the draft, we're going to take Vyacheslav Sherov from, I don't even know where that country is, but select him. Welcome to Atlanta, as you are medium elite potential power forward, 82 overall. What an absolute steal. Thank the chat for that pick. An absolute steal. He would have went like 97th overall, but Johan Nyquist, he's going to take a little bit to develop, but he has medium elite potential. So back-to-back W picks by GM Pasta here. So luckily we signed Cutter Gauthier to a monster extension. Mitch Marner also re-signed. They both are at 9.5, I believe, for 6 years. Sean McMillan is locked up long-term, as well as Sherov. We got him to his entry-level contract, so we got everybody back. So we are in the offseason, and we are in desperate need of a goaltender. Dustin Wolf from the Calgary Flames for Joseph Wall, a first, second, and Andrew Koch. Will that go through? It has been rejected, so we're probably going to have to sweeten the deal a little bit here. I will add in another second-round pick to see if this trade will go through, and it has, as they believe that will contribute to the success. All right, a new year for the Atlanta Thrashers, and honestly, this is the best roster we have had so far. We got Lapierre, Marner, and Cutter Gauthier on that first line. Sherenishov, who's an 81 overall, has all those X factors alongside an 83 TJ Ginla, and Sherov, who's an 82, very young, a lot of potential. They can be good, and then our bottom six, honestly, is pretty nice. Defensively, we have Harley and Dickinson, Romanov, McMillan, Ball, and Drysdale. Dickinson has grown to an 89 overall quickly. He's been a lot better than Sean McMillan, who's kind of capped off at an 84 overall. And if we take a look in goal, we have an 89 overall Dustin Wolf. So we might actually have a shot at making the postseason for the first time in our franchise's history. So at the end of year number 4, yet again, we were not very good. I mean, we missed the postseason. We were one of the worst teams in the league, 35, 40, and 7, 77 points, not at the bottom. We're in the mid part right now. I thought we would take that next leap and make the postseason, but maybe we're saving that for next year. Hendrix Lapierre will lead our team in scoring, 29 goals, 74 points. Marner only had 71. Cutter Gauthier had probably the worst season of his career. Thomas Harley was pretty good. Ginla as a rookie, I mean, 18 goals and damn near 50 points. I can't get mad. And then we have our young prospects who will develop very, very nicely, as Dustin Wolf had a 910 save percentage, 22 wins, and 1 shutout. So he's already the best goaltender in our franchise's history. The Oilers are continuing to dominate, as Evan Bouchard will lead all skaters in scoring with 114 points, followed by McDavid, Hyman, and Draisaitl. Man, Edmonton is the best franchise in this game, as Connor Bedard will have the most goals at 59. Hyman had 52, Rantanen 49, and McKinnon 45. And the New York Rangers would beat the Vancouver Canucks in Game 7 to take home the Stanley Cup, so there probably are more riots in Vancouver after that loss. Connor McDavid will take home the Ted Lindsay and the Hart Trophy, the Art Ross to Bouchard, Maurice Richard to Bedsy. The Norris will also go to Bouchard. Zibanejad, the Conn Smythe, Jeremy Swayman, who now is on San Jose, will end up winning the Vezina, as a Selke will go to Robert Thomas. We actually moved down yet again. We are selecting 7th overall in the NHL entry draft, so hopefully we can get a very good prospect yet again. It seems like this is the Prospect Simulator 23 or 24. It feels like that is what I'm playing right now. Now, considering the fact that my scouting is on auto, everybody is unknown, so I will take Tim Price from the St. John Sea Dogs, and medium elite potential, 79 overall, so we definitely hit with that pick. And thankfully, we locked up our number 1 D-man of the future to a 8-year, $6.7 million deal. We also signed this guy to the team, medium elite potential young prospect centerman. So we went out and signed Pavel Zacha. He accepted our offer, and Alexander Niskashin is on the Atlanta Thrashers on a massive 1-year deal, but then we will re-sign him to a much cheaper contract next season in the re-sign phase. Heading into our 5th season as a franchise in the league, same first line. Our second line now has Sherov, Ginla, and Ricci. I cannot pronounce that name. 89, 86, and 87. Our third line is very good, and our fourth line is good as well. Defensively, we still have Harley alongside Dickinson. Niskashin, who's an 88 overall. We signed him for 1 year. McMillan will play alongside him. And then we have our young prospect in Tim Price making his debut alongside Jamie Drysdale. And then an 89 overall Dustin Wolf in goal. The first ever captain of the Atlanta Thrashers here in NHL 24. It is going to be Sam Dickinson. He's our leader on the back end. He's going to be here for a long time. Already a 90 overall. He can rock the C, Cutter Gauthier an A, and Lapierre an A as well. And finally, after winning the final game of the season, 9-2, the Atlanta Thrashers will make the postseason for the first time in our franchise's history. 44-33-5, 93 points from dead last to a wildcard position. I will take it. Lapierre produced 36 goals, 91 points. Marner had 78, Cutter Gauthier 75. Thomas Harley was pretty good. Cole had an okay season, I guess. Iginla 56, Capo Caco. Look at that. I put him up on the second line. It turned our season around. 22 goals, 50 points on the season. And Dustin Wolf got his save percentage up to a 907. Also 2 shutouts and 35 wins on the season. Matthews will end up leading the entire NHL in goals with 74 and points with 123. And in our first playoff matchup back, we are going to be facing the Carolina Hurricanes, who honestly should be a very tough round 1 matchup. We would dominate the Hurricanes in 5 games in the first round, and now we face the New Jersey Devils in round number 2. Somehow, some way, down 5-2 in the third period, we score 4 goals, actually 5 goals, and we make a comeback to tie the game up at 7 apiece as we now head to overtime. All right, so here we are in game 4 of the second round, all tied up at 7 apiece. What a gong show. Obviously, we're down 0-3 in the series. We've not performed very well as our season is on the line here for the Atlanta Thrashers. Hopefully, we can not get swept. Marner coming in. Mitch the bitch in the middle. Harley over Dickinson. Doesn't even get a shot on net. Are you kidding me? Full forecheck and full attack. Come on, boys. We need to do something here. There we go. Marner. Move the puck up, Mitch. Come on, brother. What are you doing? No! Who was that? Was that Lapierre that just took a tripping penalty? Here we go. A big penalty to kill off. Obviously, they score. That's our season right there. But, I mean, this is the best season Atlanta has ever had post. Oh, my God. And there it is. Jesper Bratt right off the draw, as the New Jersey Devils will sweep the Atlanta Thrashers, but luckily we made it to round number 2, something the old team could not do, and we took a massive step forward this season, so I am proud of all we accomplished. Unfortunately, Toronto will go on and win the Stanley Cup, beating the Arizona Coyotes in 6 games in the finals. Austin Matthews will take home all the awards, the Norris to Cale Makar, the Conn Smythe to Matthews, Gustafsson the Vezina, as the Selke will go to Connor Zary of the Calgary Poverty Flames. The only guy we did have to re-sign in the offseason was Alexander Niskanen, or Niskashin, however the hell I say his name, but we still have a ton of cap space to work with heading into free agency. Now, we went out in free agency, got some depth forwards in Kirby Dach. We signed him, and let's see if the other guy will sign. Max Domi is now a member of the Atlanta Thrashers. As we head into year number 6, our first line is stunning 92, 90, and 90. Our second line, we have an 89, 89, and 90. So our top 6 is probably the best in the entire league. And then we have Hanzik, Domi, and Chernishev on the third line. And then we have Capo Caco, Pavel Zacha, and Kaliev defensively. We're very good as well. Harley, Dickinson, Niskashin alongside McMillan. And then we have Drysdale and Romanov. And finally in goal, an 89 overall Dustin Wolf, who has not been performing that well. So if he is bad yet again, I will probably end up trading him and trying to get a better goaltender that simulates better at least. Now, if you did make it this far in the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more NHL content just like this. Also, make sure you turn on notifications so you get notified when I go live or post a video. And now back to the simulation. All right, so here we are at the trade deadline, and we are honestly kind of struggling. I know we have a nice record at 32, 26, and 4, but we are not in a postseason spot. Our division is just absolutely stacked. So I think I'm going to give up our young guy in Chernishev, who obviously his deal is up at the end of the season. He'll want a big boy contract. We still got to get back TJ Ginla, re-sign him. So I'm going to trade him 1-for-1 for JJ, a playmaker for a sniper, which we are desperately needing as we don't have a sniper at all in our forward core. So 1-for-1, let's see if this will go through. And the trade has been rejected by Buffalo. So we are most likely going to have to slot in a few picks here just to make this trade work. So I will give up a second, a third, and another third-round pick to hopefully make this deal go through. And the Buffalo Sabres were happy to accept my offer. They considered it a done deal as we try to move forward and try to make the playoffs. So now JJ will slot in nicely alongside TJ Ginla and Sherov, who also is a 90 overall. He's had an okay season. I've never seen a 90 simulate as poorly as he does, but I guess it is what it is. Also, Ricci, this guy, he's a 21-year-old. He's locked up long-term, I believe, only 2 more years. Never mind. Until he needs his big boy deal. He's an 89 overall playmaking centerman, so he can replace TJ Ginla if we can't re-sign him in the offseason. But man, we got to do something here. I honestly thought about trading Tej, but then again, I don't want to give that up if I'm not going to know who I'm going to get back, and Tej doesn't even have that great of a trade value. Somehow, by the skin of our teeth, we actually made the postseason. 44 wins, 34 losses, 4 in overtime, 92 points, 2 more than Ottawa. I do believe we won our last like 5 or 6 games. We were 9-1 to finish the regular season, and we just barely snuck in. We were also a much better road team than we were at home, which is kind of weird. Lapierre, yet again, is leading our team. 41 goals this season, also 90 points. Mitch Marner only had 88. This could be a guy that we put on the trading block in the next few seasons. He is 31 years old, getting up there in age. Cutter Gauthier had 79. Harley, 62. Aginla was okay. I mean, the 27 goals is probably the best part. And if we take a look at Dustin Wolf, only a 902. And I mean, he had 4 shutouts, 33 wins. He did not have a great season by any standard. Clayton Keller would lead the NHL in scoring with 102 points, followed by Bedard's 106 and McDavid's 103. If we take a look at the goals, Matthews will lead with 56, followed by Bedsy, who had 55. Keller actually had 54. What a season by Clayton Keller on the Vancouver Canucks. Hart had 54. Philip Forsberg at 34 years old, still scoring a ton of goals, is absolutely crazy. This could be a guy that we actually target in the offseason. And in the first round of the postseason, we would end up playing the Montreal Canadiens, who we know in year number 1 was very, very young. But now fast forward like 6 years later, all these guys are in their prime and probably are one hell of a team. Well, unfortunately, we would get our ass handed to us by Montreal. I mean, goddamn, we got swept, and not really any of these games were close. I mean, the first 3 were 1-goal games, but they were leading big in a lot of them. And then the last game, they dominated us 5-2. As the Atlanta Thrashers, I mean, we have a lot of moves to make in the offseason. We got to get better. We got to go on a deep playoff run. We literally made round number 2, last season? And the Dallas Stars would end up going all the way, beating Montreal in Game 7 of the final. So shout out to Dallas. Clayton Keller will take home the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross and Hart Trophy. Matthews, the Maurice Richard. Morgan Riley will win the Norris. Wyatt Johnston, the Conn Smythe. Harabel from Arizona will end up taking home the Vezina, and the Selke will go to Matty Beniers. And thank God TJ Ginla did not want too much money in the offseason. We got him re-signed back to Atlanta. I feel a need to make a big move here in the offseason. Obviously, we lost our goalie to a free agency. Dustin Wolf will not be coming back, so Mitch Marner, 2 second-round picks, and Arthur Kaliyev for Jeremy Swayman, who's a 93 overall, and Morgan Geekie from the Sharks. It is a done deal by San Jose as we now move forward with possibly the best goaltender in the entire NHL, and has been over the past like 5 years. Now, as we head into the next season, we still have a very good first line. I put JJ up there alongside Lapierre and Cutter Gauthier, so we have the power forward playmaker and sniper combo, and then we have Sherroff alongside Ricci and Tej Aginla. Our bottom 6 is definitely a downgrade from last season, but still a good, serviceable bottom 6 defensively. If we take a look, I mean, we still have Dickinson, Harley, our top pair, 92 and 90, Drysdale and Niskanen. I mean, Nikinshin, I absolutely butchered his name this entire video. Who cares? Then we have Price and McMillan, and finally in goal, a big upgrade with a 93 overall, Jeremy Swayman. Finally, we have our best regular season of the entire video. 47 wins, 27 losses, 8 in overtime for 102 points. 4th in the Atlantic. Man, this division is insanely tight. I mean, besides the Tampa Bay Lightning, every other team was very, very good, and they still won 33 games. Buffalo almost made it. I mean, it's always a tight race in the Atlantic. I think if we were in a different division, we probably would have had way more playoff appearances. Cutter Gauthier will hit a career high 92 points. Ricci had 77, Aginla 70. Lapierre had 39 goals, which I mean is a very good goal scoring season, but points wise, he was definitely down. JJ had an okay year. Sherroff was all right. I mean, 30 goals. I will take the 30 goals, the second most on our team. And if we take a look at Jeremy Swayman, only a 907. He did have 6 shutouts and 39 wins, but man, I'm looking for like 912, 920 stats. He was consistently a very good goaltender in San Jose, and now I mean, he started off at like a 903, so he did improve nearing the end at a 93 overall. He should be the best goalie in the world. As we are back in the playoffs, and we have to play the New Jersey Devils, who 2 years ago did eliminate us in, I believe, 4 games in the second round. And thankfully, in a Game 7, we get the job done over the New Jersey Devils. I mean, it was a close-ass series. We were down 3-2. We won 2 straight to take the series, as we are now off to round number 2. As now we have to face the New York Rangers in round number 2. We absolutely dominated the Rangers in 5 games, and now in the conference finals, we face the Florida Panthers with the opportunity to go to our very first Stanley Cup finals in franchise history. Please, for the love of God, Atlanta, can we do this? And for the first time in franchise history, we have made the Stanley Cup finals. We have to face Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers, who we know have simulated very well throughout this entire video. Zach Hyman turned into the GOAT, and I mean, McDavid is Connor McDavid. Can the Atlanta Thrashers go on and win their first cup in GM Pasta's era, and the whole era as a whole? Even before, they were a god-awful franchise, but can they finally get it done? And for the first time in franchise history, the Atlanta Thrashers will go all the way and win the Stanley Cup, as we have defeated the Edmonton Oilers in Game 7 of the finals. Winner take all on home ice. I mean, the trials and tribulation that we have gone through, like 5 straight years of losing, not making the playoffs, and then we finally sneak in and we make it to round number 2, lose to the Devils, who were the better team. Cutter Gauthier will win the Conn Smythe. Only 4 goals, but had 24 points, so he was a playmaker of all playmakers. But I mean, taking a look at last season, a very disappointing playoff run, getting swept in the first round. We come back this year, finally make the playoffs comfortably, have our best regular season in franchise history, and then we go all the way, winning the Stanley Cup on home ice as well. It really does not get any sweeter than this. Come on up, Captain Sam Dickinson, to lift the Stanley Cup for the first time in franchise history, as the Atlanta Thrashers are finally Stanley Cup champions, from poverty to champion here in Atlanta. Now, of course, in the postseason, Cutter Gauthier was our best player, although he only had 4 goals, 20 assists for 24 points, point per game in the postseason as well. Ricci had 22, Lapierre had 10 goals and 17 points. JJ was actually pretty good. McMillan was okay, Harley, and if we take a look at Jeremy Swayman, there it is. There is the reason I got him on the squad, and the reason we won the Stanley Cup, a 927, 2 shutouts, and 16 wins. I don't know how he didn't win the Conn Smythe, honestly. If I was a voter, I would vote for him. A 927. He was the main focus, the main reason, the main quality why we won the Stanley Cup this season. Matthews, yet again, will take home the Ted Lindsay, Maurice Richard, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Levashunov had the Norris Trophy, the Conn Smythe, obviously to Cutter Gauthier. Yegorov won the Vezina, and the Selke would end up going to Matty Beniers yet again. We locked up Johan Nyquist to a pretty cheap deal for a long time. Now, in the offseason, we do have to re-sign one of our players who's a 90 overall, so I gotta get rid of JJ. He's got a massive contract, and I mean, he's helped us over the past, 2 seasons, but it's time to move on from him. Get a depth forward and a young guy who's like a 79 overall and can grow. So I threw in a first and a second to make this trade go through, and it's been totally unwilling. So I will throw in another first rounder to make sure this does get accepted, and it has by Washington. Now, McMillan is unfortunately going to be scratched on our decor, so I don't want to have him making $5.8 million and not even playing. So I'm going after a third-line center, which we desperately need. This guy's name is Stuart Goalie, which is absolutely wild. But regardless of that, we'll give up McMillan a first, second, another second, and a third to Calgary. And luckily, the trade has gone through. Now, as we try to defend the Stanley Cup, this is what our roster looks like. Forward-wise, I mean, we're still very good. Cutter Gauthier, Ricci, and Sheroff on that first line. Then we have Hanzek, Iginla, and Lapierre. And then finally, Capo Caco. Goalie slots in very nicely there in the third line with Morgan Geekie. Defensively, still same decor pretty much. Price is up to an 83. This is a guy we drafted in 2027, so 3 years ago. And in goal, we have a 92 overall Jeremy Swayman, who actually somehow went down after winning the Stanley Cup, but that's fine. I think we can still contend this season. And I mean, this year, next year are the 2 final years I think we can contend with, considering we do have a lot of contracts coming up that we got to re-sign. So we have to go all in right now. Finally, for the first time seemingly in our franchise's history, we're having a great regular season, cruising by 32-14-4. A very good record as we do approach the trade deadline, where I'm trying to load up. Instead, I'm going to go after Furcus, who does have 1 year left on his deal. He is a centerman, which is good. I'm going to throw in a third, second, third, and a 4th round pick. And the trade has been accepted by Seattle. Not going to lie, this is a tough pill to swallow. Lapierre really has peaked at an 89 overall. Matty Beniers is the better player, the better goal scorer, the better playmaker, the better defensive player. So I'm going to try to get this trade to go through. Basically 1 for 1, threw in a first, 2 thirds, and a 4th round pick, and the trade has been rejected. Okay. Another great regular season by Atlanta, 47 wins, 27 losses, 8 in overtime for 102 points, 4th in our division and for the entire NHL. I mean, we were top 7, which is good. The Detroit Red Wings were the best team, only winning 53 games, so the NHL right now is very, very competitive. Cutter Gauthier will lead our team, 30 goals, 76 points. Iginla had 70, Ricci 69, Lapierre only 56, so he's gotten worse as the years have gone by. Sheroff had 55, Harley had an okay season as a D-man, Dickinson, I mean, he's not really an offensive defenseman. And for goalies, Swayman had a 9-13 with 4 shutouts and 41 victories. I used to pray for times like this. Mikko Rantanen will lead all skaters in scoring with only 105 points, so the scoring was not that high this season. Barzell had 100. Makar was up there at 99. Austin Matthews, we know he simulates well. And if we take a look at the goals side, McKinnon will have the most at 58. Matthews 57. Bedard had 53. And Jack Hughes with 50. Also, shout out Peyton Hart, who had 50 goals on the season as a 23-year-old, and Patrick Fortnite-Line as well, 46, also 91 points. The dude is legit on the Islanders, as we are going to end up playing the New Jersey Devils in round number 1 yet again. All right, so here we are, Game 7 up against the Devils, a back-and-forth series, and we are down by 1 with 5 minutes to go, or 6:30 to go here in the third period, so we got to get on our horse and start riding that shit hard. There is no way we're going to lose in the first round after literally winning the Stanley Cup last season. I don't care. That would be very embarrassing. Oh, Nemec back to the point. Oh my God, what a save by Swayman. Absolutely highway robbery. Jack Hughes back to the point. They have full pressure. Oh no, walking in. Swayman, no. Jeremy Swayman, what are you doing? I understand. This is what I mean. EA Sports. Why do you have a stamina bar for the goalies if when their stamina goes down any lower than a green, it's just flop on your ass and hope to make the save? Like, it's so pointless and stupid. It affects in Be a Pro. It affects in franchise mode, Play Now, online, World of Shell, clubs. Like, literally everything gets affected by that. And now it looks like we're going to lose in Game 7, down by 2. I mean, the computers are really going to have to do something here. I mean, Sheroff, come on. Sheroff in the middle, shooting it. Good shot by Sheroff. Good save. I don't know who's in the net for New Jersey. I don't even know. Sheroff behind the net. Back to the point. Dickinson over Harley. Their goalie's flopping. That's how we score. There we go. On net again. He has no energy. We just got to get one, maybe 2 more shots, and that'll go in. Where's our forecheck? Where is our forecheck? Oh, my God. Jesper Bratt absolutely coned Thomas Harley. Come on, brother. Move that puck up to Sheroff. 55 seconds to go. EA Sports, man. What is going on? Harley up to Sheroff. Sheroff makes a nice pass to a guy. Who is this? Lapierre. Hendricks Lapierre could be gone on a breakaway if he catches this in stride and just... What is that? What is that, dude? There's no reason an 89 overall player can't pick a goddamn puck up on his backhand. EA Sports is just straight up screwing me right now. And of course, we lost in Game 7. Why wouldn't we? I mean, we're probably the worst franchise of all time. Had a Mickey Mouse ring last season. The Red Wings would end up going on and winning the Stanley Cup, beating Anaheim in 6 games in the finals. I mean, we only played 7 games in the postseason. Cutter Gauthier was our best player. 5 goals, 8 points. Thomas Harley had 6. Iginla 5. Ricci 4. No goals, though. Calder, as a rookie, had 3. 1 goal and 2 apples. And if we take a look at Swayman, he had a 925, so I cannot blame him. He was very good in the first round. It was just our players did not really step up for him. Rantanen will take home the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Nathan McKinnon, the Maurice Richard, the Norris, the Cale Makar. Pareki won the Conn Smythe, the Vezina, the Skinner, and the Selke will go to Elias Pettersson. We are now in the re-sign phase, and Romanov has decided to reject the dollar value. Also, Furk is rejected. Cole Ricci, we got him signed, thank God, on a pretty cheap deal, considering he was asking for like 10 mil. We got him at 9.5. All right, Tim Price, I believe his name is. He got offer sheeted by Arizona, so we got to clear up some cap space. Jeremy Swayman for Jake Ottinger, 1-for-1. They're both a 92 overall, but Ottinger signed 3 years instead of Swayman's 1 to a much cheaper contract. Let's see. The trade has been accepted by Dallas. They just got absolutely fleeced, and we will be matching the offer sheet. $3.4 million for 3 years. Honestly, not a bad contract for a medium elite defender who is only 22 years old, so he has a lot of room still to grow. So heading into year number 9, we still have the same exact first line. Our second line now consists of Calder, Lapierre, and Iginla. Then our third line, honestly, is pretty good, with goalie being the third line center at an 87 overall. Defensively, still Dickinson and Harley, Drysdale, Nikashin, and then we have Price and Madsen, and in goal, a 92 overall Jake Ottinger. Basically replaced him with Jeremy Swayman because Swayman's contract was preventing us from signing Tim Price back to the team. And then we have a very young 24-year-old franchise low potential 85 overall goalie that can take over next season if we want to remove Jake Ottinger from the team and maybe get something back for him. Atlanta would end up having a career, not a career high, but a franchise high 49 wins, 27 losses, 6 in overtime, 104 points, the best the franchise has ever done in the regular season. We would end up being third in the Atlantic for the entire NHL. We were a top 17, yet again, 7th in the entire league. Philly was the best team, winning 51 games. Ricci would end up leading our team with 85 points. Cutter Gauthier had 81. Sherroff only 64, but did have 38 goals. Harley had 51, another great season. He's actually simmed pretty well throughout this video. Iginla's dropping off, 87 overall. He was a 90, only 20 goals and 48 points. And if we take a look at Jake Ottinger, 35 wins, a 918 save percentage, and 2 shutouts, so he simulated just fine for our team. Austin Matthews will dominate, leading in points with 112. Nylander had 111. Bedard was up there. Has been kind of quiet throughout this sim, not going to lie. Keller had 99. Pettersson 98. And for the goal side, Philip Forsberg at 37 years of age will lead with 55 tucks on the season, followed by Bedard's 55. Matthews at 51. Celebrini 46. He's also been very quiet. Barkov at 45. Brady Tkachuk 45. And if we take a look at the goalies, Jake Ottinger, Jeremy Swayman on the Dallas Stars had a 9-11, 7 shutouts and 38 wins, so he simulated just fine. Obviously, I am perfectly okay with having Jake Ottinger as our starting goalie. He did a great job. Actually had a better save percentage than Swayman did by quite a bit. As the Thrashers will play the Florida Panthers in round number 1. We ended up sweeping the Panthers in the first round, absolutely dominated them. We only had to score like 3 goals a game, but regardless of that, now we face the Red Wings in round number 2, who did go on and win the Stanley Cup last season. They are 4-0 as well, and they are the defending champs, so it should be a very tough series. All right, here we are, another overtime in Game 6 of the second round. After being up 2-0 in the series, we have lost 3 straight, and hopefully it's not going to be 4 straight, basically getting swept in the process. Started at the playoffs, I believe, 6-0, and it is not panned out too nicely since then, but here we are in overtime. All we need is 1 shot to go in, and we force a Game 7. Come on, Sherroff, move that up. There we go, Dickinson. Make something happen, brother. Make something happen. There we go. Sam Dickinson, our captain who has led us to a Stanley Cup before. Can he do it again? Step up. There we go. Nice step up, Ricci. Oh, that was a terrible turnover. Poirier coming down. Oh, no, the Red Wings. Yeah, they're going to find the middle. Good turnover, Cutter Gauthier. It is almost like watching paint dry, seeing these computers go back and forth with each other. Sherroff, here we go. Over, Cutter. Horrible backhand. I don't know what he was doing there. And on that forecheck. There we go, on the forecheck, Ricci. Thomas Harley getting walked at the blue line. Not great. Not great at all. We are about halfway through the overtime period. Oh, no. In the middle, Poirier. Over, Dylan Larkin. Herrick. Back to Sider. Great block in front of the net. Here we go again. Like Iggy. Come on. Iginla over. Great save by the goaltender of the Red Wings. I believe it is Sebastian Casa, if I'm not mistaken. Or at least it was. I don't know about now. We're about 10 years in. 9 years in fact. And it could be different. Oh, no. Alex DeBrincat. What a save by Jake Ottinger. Oh, no. Not again. Walker in the middle. And Jakey will play that. That was a risky play. That was a very risky play. Here we go. Calder. Can he be the winner? Over Drysdale. Horrible turnover by Jamie Drysdale. The Red Wings come back the other way. Oh, no. DeBrincat in the middle. Luckily, they did miss the net. And we take a tripping penalty. Are you kidding me? We just literally cannot catch a break. We're just taking penalty after penalty, getting screwed left and right. And now we got to kill this off. 2 full minutes. Oh, no. We lost the draw. Sider. What a save by Jake Ottinger. I almost said Jeremy Swayman, but I realized that I didn't trade him in the offseason. Come on, get it out. Get it deep again. Come on, Tej. Oh, no. Horrible turnover at the blue line. Casper coming the other way. Marco Casper shooting. Another great save. So Jake Ottinger has stepped up to the plate here in the overtime period. Here we go. We're back to 5-on-5. Let's get our first line out there. First D pair as well. Price, dump that in. Price. Oh, Price is going. Tim Price over Harley. What a save by Sebastian Casa yet again. Walker moves it up. We get our first line. Oh, what? How did our defenseman just get coned like that? How? Oh, no. Good stick by Dickinson, though. Great stick, I should say. Very, very good stick. Sider. Good turnover there. Sherroff, come on. Turn on the Jets. Sherroff on the breakaway. Oh, my God, to win it. Is that not a penalty? Their player literally knocked the net off. What? How is that not a penalty? If you take your own net off, that is a power play for the opposition. I guess apparently not. In NHL 24, the rules are a little bit different. EA Sports probably programmed it themselves, but we should be on the power play, but the refs definitely have the Detroit Red Wings payroll, or they're on the payroll. Oh no. Oh, what a great save. Jeremy Swayman yet again. Come on, we got a minute left to go in overtime. Coned him. Absolutely coned him. Rebound is there. What a great save again. Casa stepping up to the plate as well as Jake Ottinger. Both of them have been great here in the overtime period. Larkin. Oh no, rebound. Whoo, that was a scary ass rebound. I'm not even going to lie. Harley, move that puck up. Move it up. Dickinson. Over to Rinchie. Over to Dickinson. Sam Dickinson misses the net that close. How do you even do that? We got 8 seconds to go in the first overtime frame. Are we going to have double overtime here, Drysdale? It looks like it, as we are headed to double OT. Here we go, double overtime between the Thrashers and the Red Wings. We still have another game that needs to be played. If we win this, we only force a Game 7 in Detroit where we could possibly get shot at. No offense to Detroit, but I mean, the crime rate there has got to be pretty high. All right, 18 minutes to go in the overtime. Double overtime. Bielich coming in. Great save by Jake Ottinger. He's going to play it. He's been a little risky with the playing the puck, but I guess it has not costed us yet. Ricci trying to deke in. Here we go. We're in the offensive zone. Harley. Ricci shooting. Put it in. How? How does he not even get a simple shot there? The Thrashers are trying their best here to force a Game 7 back in Detroit, but man, is it not going our way right now. Come on. One shot is all we need. Double overtime. It doesn't get any better than this. Oh no, Poirier. Poirier, rebound. Thank you, Harley, for grabbing up that rebound, not letting the Red Wings play. Oh, gone. Ricci. Move it over. Ricci. Sherroff. And Yegorov is the goaltender of the Detroit Red Wings, not Sebastian Casa. My bad. I also took a look at all the goalies in the NHL, and the only ones that were above a 90 overall were Jeremy Swayman and Jake Ottinger. The goalies suck in this sim for some reason. Harley, over to Sherroff. Shoot it on net. Rebound. And Yegorov makes a nice save yet again. So us and the Dallas Stars should technically have a very big advantage in the playoffs. Come playoff time, when the goalies matter even more. The fact that we both have a 92 overall goaltender, nobody else even has a 90. Most of them have like low 80s. It's actually pretty sad. What a save by Ottinger, keeping the Thrashers in it. Again, Lettige gonna center it. Oh my God, Lapierre. The goalie's down. The goalie's down. Calder. There it is. Calder will bury home the overtime winner, the double overtime winner, as the Atlanta Thrashers will force a Game 7 in the second round. A third period collapse like no other. We were up 3-1, allowed 3 straight goals for a 4-3 victory in Detroit in Game 7. It really does not get any worse than this. Hemelo, DeBrincat, and Belichick. The Red Wings would eventually go on and win the Stanley Cup, beating the Oilers in 6 games in the finals. Thomas Harley was our leading point man, only 1 goal, but 10 points in the postseason. Hanzik had 6 goals. Cutter Gauthier was not very good. Neither was Ricci, Aginla, goalie. A lot of our forwards really did not show up, including Lapierre. But I mean, Jake Ottinger had a .913 save percentage, 2 shutouts in 11 games, so I am not going to blame this defeat on him. Bedard will take home the Ted Lindsay, Maurice Richard, and Hart Trophy. The Art Ross to Matthews. The Norris will go to Miro Heiskanen. The Conn Smythe to Smolenek on actually, that's the Calder, my bad. Walker will take home the Conn Smythe. The Vezina to Kochekov, and the Selke to Caden Lindstrom. And I think that might mark the end on our journey here with Atlanta. We got to get back Cutter Gauthier. Thomas Harley needs to be re-signed. I forgot I wanted to trade him before his contract was up. Nika Shin has to be re-signed. That's 390 overall players that we're not going to have the money for. Not to mention, we still have some depth guys we got to get back down here. I mean, these are like 3rd and 4th liners. Our goalie is set for 5 more years, I believe. 3 more years. And we have this franchise low goalie who could come and grow to maybe like a high 80s, maybe 90. Probably not a 90 at franchise low potential, but he needs to be re-signed. So that will do it for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We did ultimately win Atlanta a Stanley Cup, which is better, way better than they ever did in real life. Obviously, I think they only made the playoffs 1 time in 06-07. We made the playoffs multiple times. We competed a few times, and we only got 1 Stanley Cup throughout this entire video, which sucks. Let me know in the comments what other old NHL teams should I bring back to the league here in 24. I would like to say thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.